Welcome to the I Hate Critics Movie Review Podcast. I'm professional film critic Sean Patrick. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Sean.
How's it going?
It's the holidays season,
Indeed, it is.
whoop-de-doo and dickory-dock and whatever. Something about sucking someone's cock or something. Whatever Bing Crosby said. Whatever Bing Crosby or Andy Williams said.
If it was Crosby, he said a lot of curse words towards his children. That's all I know.
This is true.
Find us on Facebook and Twitter and Blue Sky as well. I Hate Critics on all of those. And of course, subscribe to the show if you're not already subscribed or you're just kind of finding us for the first time. Feel free. Just join the club and leave a review if you can. It'd be very nice of you. We talk about new movies every week. We'll be talking about 2 new movies this week as we go along. But of course, we do have some stuff to talk about off the start of the show. Jeff, did you have something?
I just want to invite everybody this weekend, if you are in the Quad Cities, Iowa, Illinois area, or you want to make the little trip. The Quad City Toy Show is this weekend at the Bend Expo Center in East Moline, Illinois. We've got Zack Galligan from Gremlins will be there. I just finished a Gremlins piece to bring to the show. A few Star Wars actors, Chris Bartlett, who is the new body for C-3PO, and a lot of characters in the Star Wars TV shows. He'll be there. Amy Allen, who played Ayla Sakura in episodes 2 and 3, she's going to be there. As well, if you're a wrestling fan, just added a couple people to the show. Lex Luger, who is somebody I actually recognized the name when he added it to the show. I was like, hey, I know that guy. I already know the name. And then Ted DiBiase.
Really?
He'll be there.
I thought he was in prison.
No, that's his son. That's his son.
Okay.
And if you really want to bother him, ask him that. Apparently, he does not like to talk about that, but his son.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah.
I mean, his family only defrauded an entire state out of COVID funds, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. So he is
in
not
the name
of
God. They did it for Jesus. Don't worry.
Yes. But yeah, they'll be there, as well as Catherine. I can't remember her name. She was one of the Power Rangers. Yeah, possible a couple more might be added at the last minute, but I'm looking forward to meeting Zack Galligan from Gremlins, because that's a Christmas movie. So
I'm very happy to hear the Lex Luger's up and moving again. You know, there was a long time where people thought he was not going to be alive today. And his story is pretty remarkable, what he survived. Although, I mean, what he did to other people while he was on drugs is a whole other story. But the fact that he's still alive and is he overcame a lot. I'll say that.
He did drop a video on the QC Toy Show's Instagram account talking about being there, and he looks good and looks like he's happy to be there. So yeah, if you're in the area or want to make the trip, it is Saturday and Sunday, December 13th and 14th at the Bend Expo Center in East Moline, Illinois. If you do come and say hi, tell me that I mentioned it on the show, and I'll give you a free sticker.
Very cool. Now, I've got a friend who's been writing about 80s movies a lot lately. They're literally called Movies of the 80s on vocal.media. And I was not aware until I think this week that there was such a thing, Jeff, as the Krull Wedding. You're aware of the movie Krull, correct? From 1983?
Yes, but I'm in my head thinking of Enemy Mine, but I know I can see the poster for Krull, but
so Krull was a movie that cost nearly $50 million and it tanked miserably. It was a massive bomb. They were trying to clone Star Wars for Columbia Pictures, and they failed pretty spectacularly. But as part of the promotion for the film, to try and make this a big 4-quarter film and reach the entirety of available audience, they thought a great idea for a movie called Krull would be to have a contest where they gave a free wedding to 12 couples from across the country. So Krull, Columbia Pictures and Krull teamed up with a maker of wedding dresses and Modern Bride magazine, and they started this contest, and some 15,000 people did enter, and 24 people, 12 couples, were chosen from across the country to go to California to be married on the set of Krull 8 days before the movie opened, with the Krull guard in place, with other Krull finery in place, even as the movie was at this point pretty much already doomed because reviews were already starting to sneak out. They kind of saw the writing on the wall, but they had to go through with this. So this goes off, and they tried to get it out there and get media to cover it. No one touched it, basically, and it just kind of faded into the ether. And then in 2010, this guy wrote an article about it because it's such a weird random promotion, this sci-fi movie that gave away weddings and honeymoons as well. $5,000 honeymoons, by the way, for the whole package. And everybody had a great time, according to all known things. So 2010, this guy writes a story about it. It's very funny, but he wants to find the winners, and he never does. The guy in 2010. But my friend, movies of the 80s, found all of the names of all the winners and tracked down where they are now. And it's a truly fascinating, bizarre, weird little part of history where I just really had no idea that the movie Krull had this kind of bizarre legacy. I did not know that this had been promoted in this way. And there are photos, Jeff. There are photos of the wedding. And it is just pure 80s goodness, is what it is. I truly enjoyed reading about this, and we now know the names of everyone who who won the Krull wedding, who got taken to Hollywood, married on the soundstage, and then were given a free trip to San Francisco for their honeymoon, which included a romantic trip to Alcatraz.
Oh my God. Oh, Lord.
This was a national contest. I was looking at the stuff that Brian at Movies of the 80s looked up, and he had like photographs of articles that were across the country. Bridal places across the country ran this contest and bought newspaper ads to advertise the Krull wedding. And weirder still, the Krull wedding dress that was made for the movie by the film's production design team was then turned into a real life wedding dress and sold, I believe it was, he said, over 4,000 different copies of the wedding dress worn by the actress in the movie, which totaled over $1 million in sales for that wedding dress, which is nearly as much as Krull made on the opening weekend.
I'm looking at a picture of an ad of the dress, the bridal salon at Oser's in the downtown Reading Mall. I can't see very much detail on it, but
apparently it was quite popular. And apparently this was a thing in the 80s, not so much today, but if a wedding dress was featured in a movie, people would then go out to bridal shops and say, hey, can you make me something like that? Mm-hmm. Because like prior to Krull, which I guess Krull was part of a trend where especially it started on Rocky's wife, Talia Shire's character, Adrian. Her dress in Rocky 2 is among the highest selling wedding dresses of all time. Just because it was featured in the movie.
I believe it.
But yes, this was a minor internet legend. Like when the guy wrote about it in 2010, I think his name is Tim Kirk. It had gone viral. It got picked up by a number of outlets, but they didn't have the full list of the names of the people who won. And this is the first time the full list has been found. He found it on newspapers.com in just one story from 1983 after the contest was already over. Found that somebody had published the full list of winners and just took it from there, looking into social media, ancestry sites, just scraping the web trying to find who these people were.
Yeah, I'm looking, and you can actually see the list right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the guys have died and the wives are alive. Some of them have divorced. Looks like a couple of them there's an age gap. So
well, there's one story, the Arp family, that I was reading, that the couple was married after the husband met his wife while she was giving tours of the DMZ between South Korea and North Korea. He was a soldier and she was giving tours, and she was much younger than him.
I just saw their picture.
They said that I believe the oldest person to win was in their 60s, which I think might have been Mr. Arp, and the youngest couples were teenagers. Like there was one couple that was 18 and 19 years old, I believe.
Oh Lord. Yeah, there's one very attractive couple. One was 40 and one was 30. He looks like Timu Jerry Orbach. They both look like they saved whatever money they saved on the wedding. They hopefully put into dental care.
It's just wild. It's just wild. Imagine having like this important moment of your life is tied inextricably to a movie that no one remembers and completely failed at the time.
Oh Lord.
I don't know if I've heard a weirder story about a movie promotion. Like there have been a lot of unusual movie promotions over the years, but I've never heard of one that just seems so out of place.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know
just go ahead.
I know a few people who have had Star Wars themed weddings.
Well, sure, that makes sense.
And that makes sense. But Krull, I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, they released it on Blu-ray or something recently. I remember.
Yeah, I mean, it does have a cult. The Krull fan base is there now. It wasn't there in 1983.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously. But could you imagine like having to show that at your fucking 50th anniversary?
I'm sure it's a story they've been telling for years. Apparently, one of the ladies gave her dress to a local museum where she lives. So they have her dress. Whether they display it or not, I don't know, but they have it, which is just another one of those weird little fun details that you can find in this story. And apparently he tells me, I've been DMing him with him this week, that he's not done necessarily with Krull, because there's another twist in this tale. The director of Krull, a guy by the name of Peter Yates, who directed Breaking Away and several other well-known successful films, also directed Krull.
Huh.
And it could have been devastating for his entire career, but it wasn't, because by December of 1983, Peter Yates went on to become an Academy Award nominee for his next movie, The Dresser, with Albert Finney and Tom Courtenay. The director of Krull, by the end of 1983, was standing there alongside James L. Brooks and Ingmar Bergman as a Best Director nominee at the Oscars.
Oh.
It's just a wonderful story. And that's why I love movies of the 80s. They're just good people over there. There's a couple of them running it, and they just do such a great job. I'm so happy for them, and so fun to watch what they do.
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, they're on YouTube and Vocal. So
yeah, good to know.
Which is where I found them, of course, you can find a lot of my stuff on vocal.media.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jeff, you ready to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's 2?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'm going to do what I did during the movie and take a fucking nap. But go ahead.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2, starring Josh Hutcherson, Elizabeth Lail, and McKenna Grace is kind of in the movie. It
Yeah.
tells the story, picks up the story, I guess. I'm not sure how long after the original. The little girl, his little sister, is still kind of obsessing over her robot friends that she met that were trying to kill her older brother and everyone she knows. And led, of course, by the serial killer played by Matthew Lillard, who is back here, but not as back as you might have expected. This one tells this basically that there was another Freddy's, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, that was in the same town within bike riding distance of the one we were at in the last one. And apparently just nobody noticed. Nobody noticed that there was another one. That also had a tragic past where kids were disappeared and killed. Very publicly, in fact, because one little girl, Charlotte, is murdered in front of everyone. She's picked up by this animatronic and brought up to the floor, bleeding to death. And yeah, amazingly, they shut the place down. Who would have guessed? She, of course, somehow then her spirit becomes part of the animatronic. What do they call it? What do they call it? The marionette.
Marionette.
Yeah. The marionette that is then kind of boxed up by Elizabeth Lail's character. And I guess she forgot that she did that because it just sat there for a number of years until a ghost hunting group headed up by McKenna Grace accidentally unleashes her. And this movie is dumb as hell. I didn't enjoy just about any of this. I was surprised how much I forgot of the previous film. It hasn't been that long. And yet I managed to forget whether or not the little girl was Josh Hutcherson's sister or his daughter or his niece. I couldn't remember their relationship until they said it. I have no memory of his aunt, who apparently was a big part of the first film, like even setting the plot in motion, apparently. I have no memory of that whatsoever. There's just so much of the first movie that I don't remember because the first one wasn't any good either. And this one's far worse. This one's just riddled with holes. It's just why are the animatronics at this location locked in place? Why can't they leave? What does this 2002 computer have that keeps these things in place, but then they can turn it off somehow with a code? Like,
Yeah,
it's so dumb.
I
So
thought
dumb.
I thought to myself, you know what, Self, should watch the first one just to get a refresher. And then I thought, well, I'm sure I'll, once this one gets going, I'll remember what's going on and what happened in the first one. Nope. Not a fucking thing. I remembered that they were brother and sister. Forgot that there was another brother that went missing, and that's why this whole thing apparently started. I saw that Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard were in the same movie, so I thought, oh, cool, we'll have to get a scene with them together, right? Nope.
Figure.
Yeah, man, this fucking movie sucked. God, I try to go to the movies right after work, and I work at 4:30 in the morning most days. So I'm just like, you know what? I want to get this done so I can go home and take a nap. I'm gonna have to start going home and taking a nap and then going to a later show. For the simple fact of 2 movies that I saw this week, 2 movies I dozed off in. One I wish I hadn't. One I wish I'd slept through the whole thing. This was the one that I wish I'd slept through the whole thing because, God, every single fucking thing about this movie sucked. The effects were terrible. The fact that it was PG-13 was terrible. If it had been R, at least we could have got a couple F-bombs and some gore, but as it stood, there was nothing. There was nothing to keep me awake or to keep me engaged. I like Josh Hutcherson as a person, but this movie it does not make any sense. It is obviously, some shots are framed to be like video game play.
Right.
Like the darkened office where they pan around and you see, like there's a light with a some stuff under it, and it's just so reminiscent of like Resident Evil 2. And I've never played Five Nights at Freddy's, but I'm certain that these are direct shots from the game. Um, the fact that they are like within bike riding distance from this other one that nobody has heard about is the dumbest, stupidest, most moronic fucking thing I've ever seen in a movie. And I've seen a lot of movies, but I mean, God, what? This is just, this could have been like a 15-minute subplot in the first one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It was like stretched out for an hour and a half. Thankfully, it was short. Thankfully, it was not a 2-hour fucking movie. If it had been 2 hours of this, I definitely would have fallen asleep.
It was about to be. I think it was about to be 2 hours because where it ends, it feels like it shouldn't have ended at that point. It felt it had a whole. I guess they're setting up for a sequel, but I mean, which they're going to get because the movie was incredibly successful. But
I hate that.
I just it didn't feel like an ending. It felt like I don't know. It felt kind of that. I had that same feeling I had at the end of the second Lord of the Rings movie. It's like, really.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we're stopping. But the thing that bugged me the most, Jeff, the thing that got on my nerves was the fact that at some points the animatronics are like ninjas and can sneak up on people, and at other points they're like trying to move. They move like fucking refrigerators.
Yeah.
How would this thing ever sneak up on anyone or be frightening in any way? Because it can't possibly catch up to you. And you know it's coming. You can hear it a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
A good filmmaker would take that idea and use that. Okay, well, I can hear them that far away, so I've got this much time to do the thing I'm doing before it actually gets here and there's any kind of danger.
Yeah.
Simple, right? No, because we got to have dumbass jump scares where somebody he lifts his head above a computer and the fucking thing's there, even though you didn't hear the fucking thing come. It's so stupid.
Yeah, it was so fucking bad. I mean, like, there were 3 other people in the theater with me, and one guy left right in the middle of it. And I'll tell you what, if it first of all, if it hadn't been for the show, I wouldn't have even gone. Second of all, if it wasn't for the show, I would have gone and gotten up and gotten my money back and gone to a different movie. Yeah, this was so bad. I feel like the internet owes me the $7.
This is an insult. Like, this is even an insult to the child fans. And I know the child fans are probably, maybe they were satisfied with this. I don't know. Maybe they just like seeing their favorite characters on screen. But this isn't a rewarding experience. This doesn't dig into any kind of interesting lore. It doesn't make the video game look interesting. I don't even think this movie does anything enough to remind people what this is from. I mean, maybe if you have played the video game, you've got a lot of backstory that we don't have, but it's a movie. They need that backstory in the movie for it to make any fucking sense. It's really, and I can't even imagine the audience that I was with, and it was a pretty big audience when I saw it. They seemed disgusted as I was. Like everybody did. Everybody was just kind of shaking their head like, that was it? It's over? What the hell? Nobody knew how to react to this just ending that just like this, the door slams shut and the movie's over.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope that
motivations of the villain make no sense. At one point, like the villain is controlling all of these other Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics that exist, not the original ones, which have child souls in them. This one is being controlled just by this one villainous ghost, Charlotte, and she can take them over and move them around all at the same time while also using her own animatronic, the marionette, to do things. And I don't. Just calling the character the marionette, by the way, is not only, it's both just a hit you over the head with a hammer kind of idea, but also just it doesn't justify her abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. But um, but then she could just be turned off, I guess. Oh god, he's just so stupid. And the apparently they can geofence her if they put in the right code. You can just geofence her inside of her own place, and she can't go anywhere. What was the goal? Even if she did get out, what she was going to kill the people who witnessed her murder, and then just I guess random people that she found along the way, if she felt like it.
Yeah, this was this not even the scariest marionette that I'm aware of, which we have a representative in Iowa named Marionette Miller Meats, who is 10 times
She's
scarier
terrifying.
than this.
She's terrifying.
Yeah, this I can we talk about Hamnet, because I just can't talk about this fucking movie anymore. I want to it makes me viscerally angry that I had to sit through this stupid movie, and then I got up, and then there's a whole other scene as I'm walking out of the theater, and I got halfway through that, and I was like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to just go out on a limb right now and then say that the third one, unless it's streaming, I'm not watching it, even if for the show. It's insulting and horrible. So
honestly,
fuck Five Nights at Freddy's.
Honestly, gun to my head, I would sit through chapter 3 of The Strangers before I see this shit again.
Yeah. Well, you're not even going to need a gun to your head in January. But
I just say if I had to pick one, I'm going to have to see them all because they pay me to. But
well, until we start making some money on Patreon, I'm not getting paid to see it.
Unless they move it to streaming, then I'm out of good. Yeah. Somebody, Netflix, come on, grab that Five Nights at Freddy money. What do you say? The movie theaters need it though, because it was very, very successful this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I guess one more nitpick before we let it go, and it's just why I guess McKenna Grace must have a bigger role in the next movie. Why cast her in a role where she's just barely here? I mean, I know she's not the biggest star in the world, but she was the best actor on screen when she was there. And then she's just kind of shuffled off to the side.
I think, honestly, McKenna Grace is kind of a scream queen at this point. You know, she's done enough horror and stuff like this to warrant the title. But yeah, she's completely wasted. And she's good in anything she does. Like even what was the other Strangers movie she was in? Pray at Night. I think she was in that, wasn't she?
I don't remember exactly.
I don't. But
I just I've seen her in a lot of things. She's got a relatively good name. Whether she's made any good movies, she's at least been in some big roles, bigger than this.
Yeah, I thought she was going to be the protagonist because she is a well-known name. She's she's been in a bunch of stuff. The whole Ghostbusters franchise, the reboot franchise. Why not? She was well known for an episode of SVU. So
yeah, I'm saying I've got to assume she's going to play a big role in the third film. That's the only reason they introduced her here.
Yeah,
her character I don't think is dead. We don't see it. We don't see her get killed. She was taken over, but then Charlotte took over somebody else at the end. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't care, but mostly I don't care because this movie is terrible.
It's true.
I just like McKenna Grace, and I hated seeing her wasted this way.
Yeah, I mean, she'll be fine. She's done enough that, but God, this movie is the worst movie I've seen. And this is not saying something, because I would rather watch Hexed than watch this movie again. I don't know if you remember that movie.
Oh, Ari Gross, the comedy with Ari Gross. Yeah, we watched that for the other podcast. That movie's a piece of shit. That's a terrible film.
That is, I almost walked out. I wanted to see that movie so bad that I was just like, it's just the trailer looked really funny. So my friend Jason and I went in college, and he and I looked at each other, and I was like, we should probably just leave, shouldn't we? Yeah, we probably should, but we didn't. Yeah.
Amy and MJ just kept saying that all throughout that movie while we're watching. We're like, no, we got to finish this. It's for the show. And yeah, it was not. It was our. It wasn't even our last introduction to Ari Gross for the show because he was on a movie just as bad just a couple months later. So yeah, he didn't have a great '90s. That guy. Um, that's funny. Yeah. So that was Five Nights at Freddy's 2. We're definitely going to be getting another one of those because it was $67 million at the box office, and yeah. Apparently, everybody went to see Zootopia already because that one just died. Very quick death. Apparently, I mean, it barely got second place to this movie, and yeah, who knows? Who knows? The box office is so weird this year; it's hard to understand anything that's happening.
Yeah, really.
But we're going to now spend the rest of the show talking about a movie that no one else went to see but us.
Unless you were in my theater today when they bust in all the elderly people.
Oh, that's good. This movie will pick up in January when the Academy Awards are announced, and of course, it did get a nomination for Best Picture and Best Actress for the Critics' Choice Awards, which were just announced not that long ago. Very proud of all that we've done there with the Critics' Choice Awards nominations. One Battle After Another and Sinners being the top 2 movies of the year. Congratulations to those.
Oh.
And fuck everybody who didn't vote for Life of Chuck. A little bitter. I'm a little bitter about that, but nevertheless. Let's talk about Hamnet. Hamnet is Chloe Zhao's new movie. She has directed this story based on a legend about Shakespeare and his life, his first love, his marriage, and how he became himself. But the story surrounds his family, especially his wife, played by Jessie Buckley, who gives birth to their children. She has a daughter and then a pair of twins, and tragically, one of those twins is set to die, and it's really just incredibly emotional, but it's also just deeply warm and beautiful and romantic in that way that Chloe Zhao does. She is an incredibly talented director, and the way she weaves this story, knowing that she has something so heartbreaking as that death scene looming throughout the movie, she is taking us on this journey that is deeply romantic and lovely, and to just kind of, it's not a rug pull when it happens. It doesn't feel unearned by that point. You're deeply invested in what's about to happen. And then when it happens, it's devastating, but then she still has so much more to work with because the death of his son, Hamnet, lead to the creation of Hamlet. And via the creation of Hamlet, you see him and his wife having this experience together, seemingly as it happens in the movie. And watching Jessie Buckley see Hamlet for the first time as Shakespeare's wife, having experienced this loss, it was so emotional. Her face, her manner, her ability to just break my heart is seemingly unmatched by any other actor at this moment. Just something about her eyes and she seems to feel every emotion with every ounce of her being. It's incredible to watch. And Paul Mescal is also quite similarly just an incredibly expressive actor. They don't need a great deal of words to compel you. I mean, he broke my heart just with watching his daughter walk away at the end of After Sun. He's just that good. He doesn't need a monologue to do that. Not to say there's anything wrong with a good monologue. There are a couple good monologues in this movie, but the beauty of this movie lies in the emotion and how well rendered that emotion is.
Yeah, this is Jessie Buckley. She's relatable. She looks like a person. You know what I mean? Her face is so expressive. You don't think she's acting. She's just so natural and everything. And I think that was the real draw for me in this. Her birth scenes were just like, how she goes into the woods and gives birth to her first daughter by herself because she knows that that's the way that she has to do it. and then they force her to give birth to her twins in the house. And it's just like, why would you do that? Why are you doing this to her? She knows what's best for herself, but it's it as soon as she, like settles down with Paul Mescal, it's she loses so much of her agency
Mm-hmm.
that you just you just get mad for her.
Yeah.
Especially with Emily Watson, who is basically telling her how she's going to live.
Right.
And I just when she's giving birth, and then when Hamnet dies, spoiler alert. I mean, it's in the trailer. Like the the anguish, like her
Mm.
scream of anguish is just horrible. And I've I was in the theater with a group of bust-in retirement home people, and I'm so invested, and I'm just like I'm rapt. I'm like staring at the screen, and I'm kind of leaning forward, and then the person next to me on my right, their phone starts ringing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I want to reiterate, I would rather sit in a theater full of teenagers than retirement village people, because the teenagers are at least there to see a movie, maybe play on their phones a little bit. They're not screaming at this theater at each other because they don't know what's going on or who's this.
What? Who's
Who's
that?
that? Who is that? Who is that? Yeah, I heard that like 4 or 5 times today. But and it just pissed me off so much because I'm like, don't you people know theater etiquette? And this is not the movie for your phone to go off, because if for a split second I thought, why is her phone ringing when she's, and then I'm like, oh my God, it's the person next to me. Fuck you. Then it happened with the person on the other side of me. I swear to God, Sean, you know my luck at theaters. You were a witness to it that one day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was heartbreaking. And then when you said when she was watching the first performance of Hamlet, and she's so angry because how could her husband do this to her? And it's like he's using their tragedy to make money, and
Uh-huh.
how could he do that? And then she sees the beauty in what he's done with their son, and how it's she never got to see him grow up until she saw this man on stage basically playing him.
Uh-huh.
And that just, yeah, I was almost in tears at that point, because the way she goes through those emotions, there's very, very few people out there that could do that
Oh,
in
absolutely.
such a natural way, without looking overwrought. I could think of like maybe 3 or 4 other actors working today that could play that part and play that scene the way she does.
And you have to appreciate the instincts of Chloe Zhao to know what to focus on in that moment, to let that moment breathe, to settle the camera on Jessie Buckley, and then give you more of a sense of what she's looking at. And Paul Mescal, the cutting in that scene is absolutely brilliant. The way that they're going between them, it's just such a brilliantly directed sequence.
Yeah.
But I think the one that definitely I did cry watching this, and it's just this moment where the little boy crawls into his sister's bed. His sister is very ill. His sister is seemingly going to be the one that dies, and that scene, that little boy broke my damn heart. He was so incredible in that moment. It just reminds you that children are born innocent, and they don't know things, and they don't understand things, and that the beauty of that naivete, that they would think that the way a child thinks, is
Yeah.
captured so beautifully here. It just reminds you how when you think about that, when you think about the love and the compassion that this child has, this limitless care for his little sister, it just reminds you. It just kind of makes you think: how does anyone not feel for children every single day and worry and make sure that they're all right. Because every day you hear stories about kids who are being neglected or kids who are, we shouldn't have to pay for their food. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's a fucking child, you monster. Like, and this is just the kind of movie that makes me think of stuff like that. I just truly, I can't with you people. I can't with you people who can think of a child and be okay with them suffering.
Yeah. But yeah, I recommend this. It is very long, and you feel every minute of it, but it's it's based on a novel. It's not history, because we don't really know all that much history about true history about William Shakespeare, and that leaves a lot of things open for interpretation in this movie and our classic. And I'm so glad that we got this week, because it it kind of balances out the bad feelings of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, I wish I'd gotten a movie like this the week that Karate Kid Legend came out. Because even that, as much as I hate Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I hate that movie more.
Well, I'm glad I didn't see that one.
Count yourself lucky. There you go. If you were waiting to find out my worst of the year, it's not Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It's Karate Kid Legends. But movies like Hamnet, just the chance of a movie like Hamnet makes all the Karate Kid Legends and Freddy Fazbear is worth it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I will take. I will kindly suffer the slings and arrows of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and Karate Kid Legends if it means I get to watch Life of Chuck and Hamnet.
Well, gladly is not going to cross my lips, but
well, you mentioned our classic, and this does bring us to another moment of sadness, because the writer of Shakespeare in Love, a legendary playwright and screenwriter, Tom Stoppard, passed away last week. He was in his 80s. He lived a long, very successful life, and of course was responsible alongside John Madden in creating Shakespeare in Love, which won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1999. After quite controversially defeating Saving Private Ryan, although I was one of the people who championed this winning over Saving Private Ryan, which I think is a fine film. But I thought this was better because it's just, to me, I just love the emotion of it. And I was concerned that the emotion of this movie might not age well, especially given who Gwyneth Paltrow is now and who Josef Fiennes is now, which I think he works at a 7-Eleven or something. I thought there's a chance that this might not age well, but I should not have worried, because this movie just remains just in amber. It is a beautiful romantic fantasy. Josef Fiennes plays William Shakespeare. He is at his wit's end. He can't seem to write anything. He's suffering from the worst writer's block of his life. Then he meets Viola de Lesseps, a woman who just absolutely loves the theater. She just lives for it. She wishes she could be a member of a team of players. She decides to sneak in to his next show and become part of that team, pretending to be a boy named Thomas Kent. And through very different things, they meet and fall in love, and they carry on a secret affair while she pretends to be Thomas Kent and becomes Romeo in his Romeo and Juliet. And we watch Romeo and Juliet be created before our eyes. Meanwhile, there's just this glorious team of supporting players, with Geoffrey Rush stealing every scene, and just being just this comic genius. Every time they drop the camera on him, he does something or says something hilarious. Then you have Tom Wilkinson, who's supposed to play this bully character, he's a money man. He's there to roust people for their money. And to see to watch his arc. He has one of the most joyous arcs in the movie because he goes from being this tough guy who's just here for the money to having his heart completely melted watching Romeo and Juliet come to life, and to the point where he just he's a blubbering mess at certain points watching this happen. It's just glorious. Then you've got a great villain in Colin Firth who's just completely hateful. You hate him from the moment you see him, and he never tries to be likable for a second. Then you've got Judi Dench, who won an Academy Award, and she's only in the movie for 5 minutes. But I tell you, I swear to God, those 5 minutes are they're 5 of the greatest minutes in movie history. She makes the most of every line of every second that she's on screen. She is dominant. She is charismatic. She is a queen. Of all queens, she's just incredible what she does in that time, and I will gladly argue on her behalf as best supporting actress for the rest of my life, because I think even it may just be 5 minutes, but they're an incredible 5 minutes.
Yeah, she honestly was my favorite part of this. Now, I think I mentioned last week on the show, I have not seen this until yesterday and today. So I don't have those warm, I didn't have anything to compare it to. I didn't have my feelings from 25 years ago to compare it to. I enjoyed it. I did. It is not one of those movies that I would have picked for Best Picture, because it is very, very early 2000s Miramax. If you had a time capsule of movies from different eras, and this was definitely that, and that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. It was like, oh, there's Gwyneth Paltrow, there's Ben Affleck, and it was like, oh, okay. I thought Judi Dench was possibly one of my favorite roles in any movie in the last 25 years, and what she does with those 5 minutes that she's on screen. I'm not trying to reduce it to anything, but the scene in Mommy Dearest when Joan Crawford is at the Pepsi boardroom, and they're getting ready to they retire her from the board because her husband has died and they don't think she contributes anything. And she yells, "Don't fuck with me, fellas," and basically threatens to come out against their product. And then they're like, "Oh, well, we're sorry." That was the energy that I was getting from Judi Dench in the scene where he tries to out Gwyneth Paltrow as an actual woman, and she gets up there and she stands up. That was the same energy.
Yeah, serving cunt. Pure cunt.
Yes. Okay. Not everybody says that now.
I know. The gays started it, Jeff. We know.
I know, but yes, she was serving cunt in this movie, and I loved every second she was on screen. She looked the part. She was the queen. She was everything that you would hope that Gwyneth Paltrow would grow up to be.
Oh, unfortunately.
Instead of vaginal eggs or whatever she's into now. Well, I lost a half day of skiing. Yeah, I really did enjoy this. I ended up buying this for $5 on Fandango at home rather than rent it for $4. And I was like, oh yeah, I might sit down and watch this again someday when I'm not trying to squeeze it in for the show. Yeah, I think Josef Fiennes is one of the most attractive people that's ever been on screen in the 2000s, the 90s and the 2000s. So every time he was on screen, I was just like, oh, okay, William the Conqueror, let's go. And this was not the most beautiful that Gwyneth Paltrow has ever looked. That was Great Expectations by Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah. In fairness, that Alfonso Cuarón's camera is probably better than most people's.
This is true.
He's got a better eye than most people.
Oh yeah. I actually debated that movie with somebody because I said that it was my favorite movie by him. We were talking about the Harry Potter movies and his Harry Potter movie. And I said, well, he did, you know, possibly one of the best services to Gwyneth Paltrow that anyone has ever done by shooting her in Great Expectations. And they're like, oh my God, we just like went off on that movie. And I'm like, I thought it was beautiful. So, and I thought she was
Yeah.
beautiful in it. And
Great Expectations is an all-time classic for me, and most people haven't seen it, but it's fucking incredible.
Exactly. But you know, this is her kind of at her, you know, her height, obviously. She did win the Oscar for this. But I feel like I wish she hadn't won the Oscar for this, and I'll say why, because I feel like once she did that, she just kind of was like, oh, I have an Oscar. I don't really have to try anymore. I don't have to do anything special anymore. And, you know, that's I feel like she could be so much more if she applied herself to things besides sticking an egg in her vagina or
whatever it is she does.
Vagina scented candle. Yeah, that's a thing. The candle that smells like her vagina. That's awesome. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
and her children named Apple.
Apple and Moses. Yes.
She was a human being at one point. I'm certain of it. I'm certain she was a human being at some point.
Yeah. But I feel like I wish she would like lose goop just so she could have to act again and do something on this caliber. Because I feel like she just kind of gave up after this. And
I can't argue with that point because I mean, if you look at everything after this, I mean, it's pretty much autopilot. I mean, you can say what you want about Iron Man or whatever. She's not the star of that movie, and she's not trying to be.
No. The best thing she did after this movie was Contagion.
Yeah.
And she had a very small part, but she was very good in it. But that's it. She was a small part. And the most memorable thing about her in that movie, which is the dummy that they had for her autopsy. But it's like, it really made me think, what happened, Gwyneth?
Right.
And then I remembered, oh, she won an Oscar and she gave up. I don't know. And that may sound dismissive and whatever, but I don't mean it to be. I just really
look at the evidence. I would say look at the evidence in front of you. That is every other performance she gave after this.
She was a celebrity after this. She wasn't an actor anymore. So, and she's fine and stuff. She's just fine. But this is like, I think, and I'm just like, oh, Gwyneth, what could have been?
Mm-hmm.
She could be doing interesting small parts like Julia Roberts. I mean, say what you will about After the Hunt. She was, she was still a star at least. And she was
let down by it, but she did her best trying to tell us that 12-year-old girls can cause grown men to
want to fuck them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was just capitulating to the regime. But no, I that was my biggest disappointment in watching this was what could have been and what should have been.
Yeah.
But Judi Dench was worth it.
When was the last time you saw Josef Fiennes in anything?
That's a good question.
I don't actually remember.
Yeah, he did. He was in American Horror Story a couple seasons, which I mean, that's the last time I remember him. That like where he stood out, but that was just because he was a priest who got crucified in a church. So, I'm
not going to cast aspersions because I don't know anything about the man. I just know that there was at some point he had some sort of controversy where he didn't react well to it, and people said that we're not going to cast you anymore. I don't know what he did. I'm not saying it was Me Too or any of that. I don't know. I just know that at a certain point he stopped getting roles.
I did think it was funny that he was in Elizabeth the same year. Well, he's been in the show Prisoner 951.
Oh, wow. That
um,
sounds like a huge hit.
this year. Bluebeard, which is a
Mm,
podcast series last year.
okay.
Um, yeah, he The Handmaid's Tale. Oh yeah, I forgot he was in that, but yeah, he's really wah wah.
Seemed like he was going to be a big star coming out of this, and then it just didn't happen
Yeah. Hmm.
for whatever reason. I mean, he was never going to get out of his brother's shadow. I mean, Ray Fiennes is a genuinely one of the greatest actors of all time. It can't be easy to be in that family.
Yeah.
You're kind of always going to be number two there.
He did. He turned down a 5 picture deal with Miramax after this movie and decided to travel to India instead. That could have something to do with his career trajectory.
Well, hey, good for him. I mean, anybody who
Yeah,
turns down Harvey Weinstein can't be that bad a guy, right?
I'm surprised Harvey Weinstein didn't force him to do it.
Right? I'm going to hold your family hostage until you sign this 5 picture deal.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if there's any controversy about him, like what could have happened, but
Mhm.
I don't.
But regardless, Shakespeare in Love remains one of my favorite movies of all time. I still believe that that it won Best Picture for a reason because regardless, I know everybody thinks that Harvey Weinstein made that happen. Maybe he did. Maybe he certainly put his thumb on the scale. But I found the movie's emotion to be so genuine and so warm and so romantic and soaring. It reminded me of just a lot of great old Hollywood stuff. The performances are uniformly excellent. I mean, Tom Wilkinson and Geoffrey Rush in your supporting cast, and Judi Dench. Plus,
Yeah,
Ben Affleck is incredibly underrated in his performance. He just comes in and is just takes over various little scenes and he just leans into this actor's ego in a way that just feels so real. nothing,
yeah,
nothing against. I'm not saying that's what Ben's like. I don't know him. I'm just saying it felt so real, and it played kind of against the type that he was at the time as well, which is nobody thought he could do a movie like this, and certainly people maybe thought he was egotistical or had a big head, and he just takes that and shoves it right in your face with this performance. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed every time he stepped on the screen. He was great. And really, you don't see movies that are just this uniformly well made.
yeah,
It's not. I wouldn't call it flawless, but the greatest art is never flawless. The flaws are obviously the things. Some of the flaws are actually what make it more human and beautiful.
yeah. It was gorgeous. It was, everybody was going for the A game in this one, and I, I feel like, yeah, it probably won Best Picture because of a little pressure from Harvey Weinstein. Because at the time, I mean, everybody knows now what a pig he was, but at the time, he ran Hollywood. He was really the person with all the power in the industry, and it's a shame that he used it to do what he did. But yeah, we're lucky that we got this before the backlash. So
I would say he did do a lot to try and influence voters in the direction of his movies. But
mhm.
this movie was up against a Steven Spielberg war movie that got amazing reviews and was beloved by the exact demographic that is supposed to love that are members of the Academy. This movie
Mhm.
still managed to win. I don't think if this movie wasn't as brilliant as it is, I don't think he could have pushed a lesser movie past Saving Private Ryan,
Yeah,
regardless of how powerful he may or may not have been at the time. All
yeah.
right. Next week, Jeff, we've got Ella McKay, which is coming from the Academy Award winner from 1983. I mentioned earlier, James L. Brooks behind this movie, Ella McKay, coming out this weekend. I don't know the name of this young star. I don't recognize her. I know Camille Nanjiani and Jamie Lee Curtis and Albert Brooks are all in the Woody Harrelson is in this movie, but I don't know the young woman who stars in it.
Yeah. I've never heard of her, so maybe we'll rectify that.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. They didn't give me a chance to see it in time for the Critics' Choice Awards, so what are you going to do?
Oh, well, I'm sure that it's because the next movie that we're going to talk about next week probably beat her in the Critics' Choice Awards, right?
Not a chance. Jeff's most anticipated movie of 2025, Silent Night, Deadly Night, the remake.
Oh, if that were true. I love the original. I don't remember if we've talked about that on the show. I think we did.
Next week.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we're gonna have to talk about it one way or the other because
I think next week has to be 1 and 2 because I want Garbage Day.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's the same movie. I mean, you've seen it. You've seen it.
Oh yeah.
So we could talk about that next week. We'll touch on the other 3 in the series. I don't know if you've ever seen those.
I have. Mickey Rooney.
God. Oh, I can't wait to tell that fucking story about Mickey Rooney.
And then there's was it Clint Howard? And directed by Brian Usna.
Mm-hmm. Maud Adams is in that one.
What a wild fucking, and it has nothing to do with Christmas at all.
Nope. Not a thing.
Oh, this is one of the weirdest franchises to ever have existed, and
it's like I cannot believe they haven't gone to space. But again, we haven't seen the remake yet, so
if the guy who the Garbage Day guy is in this, automatic A for me. I will give this movie all the props if they got at least a cameo from that guy because he's an icon.
He does shows too. So does the original Billy.
Yeah.
I was really, really hoping that we would get them for the QC Toy Show December show because that would have been just perfect, but no dice.
It's a good idea for your Christmas themed events is to get the guys from Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Silent Night, Deadly Night week. That's what we're up against. And then Ella McKay will also be there.
Yep.
Find my go ahead.
I was gonna say, and I will have my Silent Night, Deadly Night poster at the QC Toy Show this weekend. So come and pick one up. I'll sign it for you.
And those are the new movies next week. And check out my stuff online. You got vocal.media and, of course, medium.com/realscope. I've got a review of Jafar Panahi's new movie, came out earlier this year, called It Was Just an Accident, which is a truly brilliant film. Also, another foreign film from Argentina called Belen, that is just a genius fucking movie. It's just, like I said last week, and I've said it a couple times in the last couple of weeks, this is one of the best years of all time for movies. We've been spoiled with incredible movies, and it's just such an exciting time to be a film fan. If you're not going to the movies, you don't know what you're missing. It's great at the movie theater these days most of the time. I know Five Nights at Freddy's is out there, but still it's still otherwise been a wonderful time to be a fan of movies.
Yeah. Get my stuff at jefflassiter.com. Jeff Lassiter Pop Cult is my Instagram. You can get all my links and everything there. Go pick up some stickers and prints. It's a great time for Christmas gifts. I can have them shipped to you before the holidays. So,
one more note. Knives Out 3 is on Netflix this Friday if you haven't seen it, and I gave that one a rave review as well. So maybe we'll drop that into the next show as well. So, Jeff, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Have a great night.